Hello programs, it's Rizzy here and welcome back to another episode of What the FX. It's a crazy time in the world right now, so I hope this video can bring you just a little bit of a distraction from the craziness going on out there. With that being said, I'm going to be taking a look at Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I've never really been a Tom Holland fan. I've always been Andrew Garfield, and he's kind of grown on me as the Spider-Man franchise has evolved over time. And he's kind of the best Peter Parker for me at this stage. Now, when I watched Spider-Man Far From Home in cinemas, there was something that really made me super depressed. Not in a bad way, in a really good way, and that was one specific scene from the movie, which is the illusion scene that Spidey and Mysterio battle off in. Nani? Now, in my previous video, we talked about CGI and how powerful the medium really can be when it comes to creating special effects in movies. And Spider-Man Far From Home is no different. They actually used a bunch of different references from some other movies like Harry Potter, The Matrix. They even used bits and pieces from Age of Ultron to create the zombie Iron Man, which we'll get into in a moment. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home or Avengers Endgame, there may be a few spoilers attached in this video, so be aware. But I'm going to try and break it down as simply as possible. So the crazy thing about the scene that I'm talking about is it took 9 months to create. That's right, it took 120 particle effects specialists, rigging, animation, environmental specialists, all sorts of animators to create this entire mind-bending scene that we see in Spider-Man Far From Home. Now there's one really amazing thing that Marvel does really well, and that is tying storylines together and creating really crazy special effects that span over the course of the MCU. And Spider-Man Far From Home is no different again. I'm sure you've noticed those blue tinges in Mysterio's holographics. That actually comes from Iron Man when he first presents Barf. Yes, the worst name ever, but Tony even mentions that in the movie.
Binarily augmented retroframing, or BARF. God, I gotta work on that acronym.
Okay, so there are a lot of particle physics here. Now what that really is you can attach a specific particle emitter or producer in 3D animation and get it to emit specific particles. You can then attach objects or textures to those particles and it can create the scene that you're looking for. Now it sounds simple, but it's really not, because to get particles to interact with solid objects and or people is another thing entirely, which they did really well in Spider-Man Far From Home. I think my favorite clip from the whole scene between Mysterio and Spider-Man is when Spidey is in the snow globe and he's crawling up and the cities are appearing out of the snow and the snow is falling around him and confined into this globe. That is a really complex thing to do. And to make the snow not look like jelly or some other weird gelatinous substance is a really tough thing to do. The physics behind it was really well manipulated and well constructed when it came to creating something like that. There's also a very cool mirror scene in Spider-Man Far From Home where they had to create 22 different versions of Spider-Man and fights against himself and then, kind of climb on top of each other. And that is a really heavy render time. I can tell you now, I have corporate clients that I do 3D product shots for. Some of those renders can take 2-3 hours a shot. We are talking about 4 to 8K resolution at 120 FPS, probably 60 FPS. And you are talking about thousands of hours of just renders. Not people working, just renders. So once again, we need to realize that this entire sequence is CGI. 100% CGI. And if we took all of the effects out of this, it would simply be a blank screen. Which is a crazy feat, guys. When it comes to adding particle physics, to adding the environments, to adding Spidey and Mysterio, to getting real-time lighting, it's a crazy task to accomplish. That's why I say 9 months, 120 people, it's mental to think about. I wish I could work on the left foot of Spider-Man and being able to do that kind of stuff. And Tom Holland does some really cool acrobatic work that ties in nicely with his motion capture. And I think it really pushes the scenes to the next level because a lot of the suits look super realistic and are really well done when it came to motion capturing that kind of stuff. Now, something else that I really loved in this movie was the zombie Iron Man. It was an awesome thing to see on screen. And Marvel actually had some problems with the first versions that they created, because the first versions they did had like blood and guts and still half an eye, and like it was really gory. And Marvel said, no, let's make it a little more PG, and they came up with this rendered version of Iron Man in you know, a skeleton with spiders crawling through him. It is such an epic scene, and also immensely challenging. The tasks and the texturing behind putting Iron Man into this undead version of his suit is also really, really challenging. I want to know in the comments below what you thought was real in this film and what completely fooled you, because there were so many scenes where I really had to struggle, stop, play back, watch to actually see how they constructed those scenes. Incredible job, incredible job. Now, as any editor, 3D animator, or videographer knows, transitions are everything, like everything. It all works around transitions. Go and watch Spider-Man Far From Home again and just have a look at the transitions. When Spidey goes from the illusion world into the real world and slams into cars, and just realize how much work that took to create. Unreal, and obviously 3D generated as well. A lot of keyed out footage to only place specific objects and then overlaying what images you want to be shown. On top of that, it sounds simple, but it's really not. When he breaks through glass and moves into a different zone where it's from the illusion world into the real world, that is some serious advanced special effects that are not easy to accomplish without a really, really smart supervisor and some really talented special effects artists making that happen. So I think when it came to the like real effects, you know, when the drones are splashing water onto people and buildings are breaking up and bouncing off actors and stuff like that, I think a lot of that is CGI, because you're not going to put an actor in front of a blown up building and say, dodge it, because he ain't really Spider-Man, I'm just saying. The buildings that are being broken up, there may be some practical effects in the background where there are actual real shards, but a lot of it will be particle effects that are being thrown onto Peter or Tom. It really depresses me because they are so freaking good at what they do that I just want to be better and better and better every single time I look at something like this. The French, man, they have some weird talent for 3D generating and 3D animating stuff. Anyway, that's it for this week's video, guys. I hope you're all staying safe. Please remember to wash your hands, guys, and just follow the rules and be safe out there with everything that's happening. I hope you all stay safe. It's Ruza here. I will catch you guys on the next level. Yo, so you made it to the end screen. Okay, well, if you want to win some prizes, click here or watch some videos. You can't actually win prizes, but please don't unsubscribe. Ruza here. See you guys later.